I'm big and ugly. I'd like to let it grow, you know I'm talking about my beard. I'll have you all know that I know sometimes it might look weird. But I got a friend upstairs whom I'll keep confiding in. I know he's there 'cause when I knock he always lets me in. Brings me peace with what it is and what is not for me. To accept what I see, they're looking back at me as big and ugly. Big and ugly. I could have been small and cute and play a flute like a dream, or sing like an angel, maybe play ukulele. But I got to work with my hands and keep dragging it along. Banging on that old guitar, sometimes I'll write a song. I lose a few friends, so it seems I got no enemies. 'Cause what you get is what you see, that's how it is with me. 'Cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. Big and ugly.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Uglies. Boom, there it is up in the corner. I'm your host, Josh Denny. We're coming to you on Thursday versus our normal time of Wednesday because let's be honest, just been a busy week and a lot of shit going on, and so we're doing it today. How about that? And by we, of course, I mean not just me and all these delicious fat rolls that you see below my ill-maintained beard. But of course, I'm talking about the queen of fat rolls, the cinnamon fat roll, if you will, Mr. Big Spit, Carl Spitali. Hey, buddy.
Hello. How are we doing on show today?
Pretty nice. You had a bit of we had like a bit of an excursion today. Well, I've had an excursion for the last couple days. I've been, hanging out in music stores. And I got to tell you, yesterday I went to Guitar Center Hollywood, and I was texting you from inside Guitar Center Hollywood like, hey man, this influencer shit is out of control.
Out of control.
I don't know if you know this, but like if you go to Guitar Center Hollywood, you have two things. You have masturbating homeless covered in shit diapers who are walking in with like, this is Miles Davis saxophone, I want $25 million for it. And then and it's like, first of all, I don't even know if Miles played the sax. But I'm going to go ahead and say that you're lying, and that do you have any sort of paper trail with I ain't got shit, but it's real. And then the other thing, almost more embarrassing than seeing that, is watching, I don't know, 19-year-old autistic kids be like doing literal content creation in the middle of a live music store.
Yeah, like they do that shit at the gym too.
They'll literally just pick up a fucking guitar and sit down and pop up a tripod and their phone. Like, what's up, everybody? It's fucking Keegan. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the fucking Gibson SG from 1960s. It's like, hey, man, a lot of the guys that do this shit actually own their instruments and fucking post from home. What are you doing?
Yeah, just fucking get out the store with that shit.
And it's funny, and I'm just like, I was like, I looked at the salesman. I go, hey, man, is this normal? He goes, every day. Every day it's like that. And I was like, it doesn't have to be. You could just not allow it. And then you and I went on an excursion today. We went to Guitar Center Pasadena.
The Pasadena one.
And I mentioned
Much different experience.
I mentioned it to the female manager, and she goes, yeah, we don't let people do that shit here. If some kid sets a fucking camera up, we're just like, listen, you can film, but like, don't get in the way of other customers. And she's like, and we definitely don't be letting people like live stream and fucking, stand up, put a fucking tripod up. But this is
it's a night and day experience between.
These are Los Angeles. I feel like these are LA. Yeah, these are LA specific things. And the Hollywood thing is definitely, there are still people, like there's still rich trust fund kids who are like, I'm going to move to Hollywood. I'm going to live on the Sunset Strip and I'm going to get rich reviewing guitars on TikTok. And it's like, all right, man. Okay. Meanwhile, my buddies in Snot, shout out to Snot, having a killer reunion after, I think, 25 years. New singer Andy Knapp, fucking sound amazing live. They're doing a little run of shows here, and I think they're going to do some stuff overseas. But, like, these are guys who have been killer fucking musicians for better part of 30 years. And played with a bunch of bands, toured with a bunch of bands. These are monster guys. And then in a lot of ways, like if you watch interviews with these dudes, they're like, yeah, it's kind of like starting all over again. And so you look at these people who have genuine talent and dedication and have put all this fucking time in. And then there's a kid who's like, hey, everybody's fucking kid. And he's just like, I have 25 million followers on. And Gibson gave me $200,000 just to name them in this video. And you're like, I think about my actual musician friends, and I bet they want to fucking kill themselves.
Or them.
And then a lot of them do, and then that's what that is.
Drugs are bad and good.
Unbelievable, man.
Other than that, it was a pleasant experience in Pasadena.
Yeah, we had a good time.
It's way. I just say like it's bad enough that they have to listen to terrible playing inside of a Guitar Center of just people demoing all the gear all the time. There's one guy playing drums. There's another dude playing the bass shitty. There's another dude over here that doesn't know how to shred on guitar, but he's just like playing it on the loudest setting of an amp. He's like, I'm checking out the cab, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it literally is like a homeless dude in there. It's like, what can I get for this? And like, what is that? It's a new thing. I call it the ukulele.
Ukulele.
It's just like, I don't know where they fucking found it, but it is like some fucking weird banjo that was made in a garage. And they're just like, y'all got to buy this.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, please get out. You
Yeah.
stink. And they don't. Like Starbucks just came out with a new policy that was what most places used to have. Like, you got to buy something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You got to buy something to be there. So like Guitar Center isn't a place where you have to buy something because you want to try shit out. You're looking at it, but like I feel like they're almost getting to that point where they're like, listen, dude, you're gonna have to buy a guitar pick, a drumstick, or something. In this
Dude.
There's
and it's funny too because like I just watched this really great documentary that's on. Am I lagging? I feel like my screen is lagging. I just watched this really great documentary on Netflix about another famous LA music store called Norman's Rare Vintage Guitars. And it's in Tarzana, and it's like owned by this guy who's like this insane guitar collector, and he has been for like 50 years or something. And he's in the middle of the store is like this big couch, and like they'll literally have like their customers are people like Tom Petty and like Dave Navarro, and they'll come in and just sit on the couch and hang, and they'll shoot like videos, almost like mini podcasts or whatever. People will come in and jam. Post Malone went in there and like cut a video jamming with some of his buddies before he had a single tattoo, like when he was like a teenager, and they were like, we just know him. What's his real first name?
Austin Post.
Austin. Yeah. They were like, we just knew him as Austin, the sweet sounding kid, came in and played a little guitar and sang. And then there was another kid who's like this huge blues phenom now who like got his start with a video in their store. And it's like, yeah, you can have like a cool, that's what makes a music store cool, is like you can have a couch like that. People can sit down and pull up guitars and hang and talk music and jam together. You just can't do it at a Guitar Center on the Sunset Strip, because you're going to get shoeless Joe Jackson in there with fucking like,
I used to play with the Jackson 5.
he just goes, nigga, I'm Hendrix's brother. You don't know me? Like, it's just like
Henny. They call me Henny Hendrix.
Yeah, you know why he played the left-handed guitars? Because our mother was a chicken wing cripple. She had one of them wings on the other hand.
You know the type.
Yeah, and it's just they just have these crazy stories. And then I got to be honest with you, there's a part of you that's like, oh, okay, Hollywood's still Hollywood. Like you can't burn down the insane homeless part of Hollywood. And for better or for worse, like you wish you could, yeah. Why have you been trying for the last month?
They're doing it themselves.
Yeah,
we saw a guy on the way to the store.
That's right. We drove
being arrested by park rangers on the side of the fucking, like where Griffith Park meets the fucking 5.
Right? Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what are they catching an arsonist? They were. He was literally in cuffs and he's yelling like, ha 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 ha. Yeah. And you're like, oh my fuck, dude.
He looked like a 1960s Batman villain when they were arresting him.
Dude. Yeah, he was like, I was like, holy shit. They really, that's, and they had like all this, there was like a can of gas and like all this shit in a pile in front of them.
Because we were talking about it, but we weren't really talking about it when we drove by. I had the immediate thought where I go, here's a big ugly topic they won't talk about. I had the immediate thought of like, I'd have just started shooting them.
I think we did say that.
I don't know exactly, but I would have just shot him in the fucking head. I'm like, oh, my bad. Didn't I do that? Like I would be
circle cops.
Yeah, I would just be the court-martialed or whatever happens to bad cops. Nothing
happens to them.
Oh, okay. Except for that one guy.
Qualified immunity, I think it's called.
I would be Derek Chauvin on the first day. Like a black woman be like, what the fuck is y'all doing? Just like, ka. Oh, sorry, were we not supposed to? I thought she was posing a threat. I thought she's coming right.
It'd be like, and under no circumstances do we bam. And you'd be like, my bad, y'all.
Yeah. She looked like she was coming at us pretty quick.
Man, speaking of coming at us quick, Trump's first week.
Pretty good, huh? How you feeling?
I like the new press secretary. Right to the business.
See, this is the thing.
It's not a sexual thing. It's not a sexual thing. You came over
late last night, and we were doing a little show prep over some McDonald's ice creams.
It's not a sexual thing.
And you were like, I think she's hot. And I said, she's got the same bulldog face that Sarah Huckabee Sanders had.
She doesn't.
And you didn't agree with me.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders looks like she has to have a hyphenated name or you wouldn't know she's a woman.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I don't know if I quite put that together, but sure.
Yeah, because then you'll be like, here comes old Huckabee. It's just a fucking, it's just a house dog that comes around the corner. Okay. You see, because Huckabee Sanders, you're like, oh yeah, the girl.
It's a lady. Yeah, okay.
It's a lady person.
I see what you're saying now. No, but I mean, she just has that sort of like, I don't know, Mrs. Doubtfire bottom half of her face where it's like ish, and it's just, she don't have a beard like me. She has no lips, and she's just like, President Trump.
I didn't expect her to have lips, but it's fine. She's 10 times hotter than the last press secretary.
Yeah, the last press secretary looked like she was rolled around in chocolate fondant for too long. And I was like, is this a press secretary or is this cake? What are we looking at?
That fucking Haitian chick. She just every day it was just like making up bullshit and like,
you're talking about President Joe Biden.
That's a leprechaun.
Wagwan. Me president don't be doing that now.
It's a leprechaun.
Why does it sound like a leprechaun?
Well, me slapping the BS.
Yes, man.
It's definitely a leprechaun voice.
No woman, no crime. That's what I see. That's what I heard every time she come to the.
It's French. They speak French. The French Creole is like
okay. Yeah.
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 But as far as the first
now
week, like,
and now she's free to eat all the cats and dogs her heart desires.
but like CDC murdered thousands of chickens and then was like, look what bird flu did, right? Like they kill all these chickens.
Yeah.
And then all the goofies.
McDonald's got the free 10-piece, like y'all didn't plan that.
The fucking goofies that are all saying, I heard what happened to the orange man on the TV that said prices go down the day one.
Yeah.
You're like, do you not know that they released a virus the last time he was in office to sabotage things? And you don't think the same weaponized 3-letter agency who told you that 6 feet apart was a thing and all the other made up rules are now killing chickens? And you're like, well, the CDC said abolish them. Because if we're going to go by the fucking experts say thing again, like, so within his first week, all the executive orders, a couple of them were good. A couple of them I didn't like. One of them was we'll get right into it, was the antisemitism order.
Yeah, you like a lot of anti-Semitism.
Well, who doesn't, you know? And but even if I was a super Jew, right, I would be against those laws because I would want to call a Muslim a piece of shit and say that they're dirty, whatever, like whatever slurs I can say.
Do that. You can't do it with Jews. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. If I was a Jew, I would want the right to do that. So I wouldn't want anybody to not say the things about me and my people. And that's where like the line needs to be drawn in the sand. Like, no. You're gonna have to get thicker skin. Because running to the government every time they're like, the teacher, he called me a fucking Jew. You're like, this is gotta stop.
Yeah. Now, see, this is what you're talking about. Because like, if you didn't have these laws, like you'd be free to say stuff like this.
That's what I say about him, Hitler, hailing the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays. They were gaying out the kids. They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, you know what her first tranny surgery ever was? Happened to be in Germany.
By the way, you gotta love. So if you don't know who these people are, I don't know who Rolly Delgado is, but I know Bryce Mitchell is a
UFC fighter, right?
Fighter, yeah, on the left. I do have to love the look on Rolly Delgado's face that was like, is literally like, hey man, you just lit all of our goddamn money on fire for the rest of our lives. I don't know what you're doing right now, but it's not.
I gotta be honest though.
The other thing that's funny about this is that I tweeted this earlier and I said that this is the unfortunate thing is no amount of good points can overcome the accent. When you have Bryce's accent, you're like, listen, Hitler's a guy you go fishing with. It's like no one's gonna hear what you're saying, dude.
I just want to say though, what a great podcast name.
Oh, ARKANSANITY? ARKANSANITY. Okay. Yeah. There we go. ARKANSANITY.
Yeah. Also, the fact that he has the same, he's treating him like just a regular redneck, where he was like, you know, before he got on meth,
yeah,
you know, he's a good guy.
You know,
and then, you know, like my cousin got on meth and that fucked him up, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like Hitler's no different than my nephew Jeremy. Okay, my nephew Jeremy was, you know, he was about to be the next Einstein, you know, and then
the Jews queered him up.
Queered him up.
They queered him up.
Yeah,
they queered up the women. They queered up the men's. They started doing. And here's the thing, though.
He goes. Where you think they chopped off the first Peter? Fucking Germany, man. No, you got to watch the rest. This is pretty.
Here's the thing, though.
Where Hitler took over, you know the books that everybody makes fun of Hitler burning. You know what the books was? Queer books. Hitler burned queer books.
By the way, you know what the books was is probably my favorite line.
Yeah,
from
that's the one that goes, well, you should maybe.
You know what the books was? Queer books. Queer fucking books. I mean, this guy, first of all, listen, shout outs to Bryce Mitchell, but dog, you look like you've never seen a book that isn't queer. You're like, what are you reading?
A book. Just a book.
Or a book in general. Oh my God.
Hitler didn't want a bunch of queers destroying his nation. They can't produce children.
But what about
when he got on meth and he turned on Russia? I believe that's when he kind of went full nutty. And I don't think that he was just like the best dude ever. And when I say I go fishing with him, I'm not saying he was the most trustworthy dude or I'd love him or whatever. But at some point in Hitler's life, I don't think he was that bad of a guy.
Well, yeah, probably when he was like 12 or 13, he was probably pretty dope. You know what I mean? We have this theory that he was a very cool teenager who had an unsuccessful art career. And, you know, nowadays you just start a podcast shitting on other artists. And back then you were like, I think I have to kill all the Jews forever.
Yeah. If you really want to, like, if you're mad that Israel runs shit and is this nation that like controls other nations and stuff like that, you got to be pretty mad at Hitler. Because if it's not for Hitler, he doesn't send a bunch of Eastern European Jews to Palestine and become what it is. Because that was the first thing that they did was like, hey, here's an all expenses paid fucking one-way trip. And they did that. They deported their country with a bunch of Jews to go to Palestine. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
And it was because the Zionists they were established their little area. The Nazis were taking trips there. They had a coin that had the Zionists with the Star of David on there and the Nazis.
Dogecoin. I think everyone knows that was Dogecoin.
But some of the things that he said aren't wrong about the first transgender surgery. That was in Germany.
Yeah. No, that's correct. Yes,
the books they were burning
were queer books.
Yeah, and it was a lot of students.
Not just in that they had words and ideas in them, but they were actually
yeah. So like those things are cool. But
I know the guy's voice makes you think that he's like, has that guy ever seen a book and not thought somebody reading was queer? I'm sure not.
Reading? What am I, queer?
What are you, some kind of faggot? You trying to get me to put my eyes down into this paper fold so you could suck my dick without me looking?
That's what it is. Fucking queers.
Yeah, you want me looking down in my lap because you're going to fish my cock out and start sucking on it.
But they need to be specific in what they say. So like the Weimar Republic was like a thing that led to like, it's this very broad sort of like, oh, it was Jews. And where you go like, not all Jews bad. And he was like, yeah, back then, it wasn't all the Jews.
I hate reading class. My teacher always puts my bookmark in his mouth.
Always got paper cuts, and I still had to.
He's always trying to put my fucking bookmark in his mouth. And you know what the problem is? He chews on it, and then it don't hold the spot in the books.
You got to spit on it.
I mean, and then the pages is all stuck together. I mean, is we trying to read or is we not trying to read?
I don't know.
Queer ass
books is now queer. And they was burning them.
Yeah.
They was burning queer books. Because who the fuck wants to read that?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, dude, we get it. You don't like books. It's just like, they could have just removed them.
Yeah.
It could have just been like, yeah, these aren't allowed here no more.
I think we just stumbled on something for our upcoming news show, The Premise, where it's just like, how bad were they? Where Hitler was like, we can't throw them away, we must burn them, because like one of the books. Has anyone seen this
got
book?
Him hard. One of the books got him hard.
How would you know if you didn't try it? So somebody finds this in the trash, and then they're going to try it, and then everyone's going to love it, and then everyone is gay.
I'm just saying.
Like I think
there is this approach from a lot of the Nazis, the neo-Nazi or the stuff, right? Where the whole entire approach.
Hold on, Sprockets from SNL is just an alternate reality where they never burn the books. Yeah,
they basically have this whole idea that oh, all the Nazis hated queer shit. They were all family oriented. But then you like, dude, first of all, Germans are the weirdest fetish motherfuckers on the planet next to the Japanese. Yeah. Okay. They like shitting on people's chests. They like
Scheißer porn.
And I'm saying they love doing all that. And the other thing is, they have the gayest fucking accent you could have when speaking English.
Definitely.
Next to just a gay guy. And also, their uniforms were designed by Hugo Boss, and they're very gay. So this idea that they were so fucking not, against queer stuff is like, no, dude, they were against Jews and the money shit. The obsession with the queer stuff was probably even a smaller branch of Nazis. Who are maybe jealous that they weren't getting to fuck the other Nazis. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But either way, that is like the sole focus of it, because the trans shit and the pride stuff that's thrown in our face. Now these motherfuckers are going, this is exactly what happened in Germany. This is
I just picture Hitler being like, do you have any idea how many browns we looked at before we settled on the brown for the brown shirts?
Yeah, exactly.
I must have looked at 6,000 brown swatches before we decided. Is it too khaki? Is it too chocolate? I mean, what do we do?
So that's why we went with this charcoal gray. It's very cool.
Very cool. It's cool in colors.
It's very nice. It's very cool.
It wears well once you have worn it a few times.
Plus, you can wear your boots when you fuck ass and cock.
You almost went Indian halfway through there.
Yes, please, because that is the same. When they have the Nazi there, and it is queer. Everything queer.
Welcome to India, where all sex is anal.
Ooh. That's a good shit joke.
India, where there is no right hole. We should just make India t-shirts.
There is a whole thing about like going back to about the free speech law that Trump made is like.
But yeah, I mean,
I call it the anti-free speech. It's definitely an impingement on the First Amendment.
All joking aside with the Bryce Mitchell thing, he should be allowed to do that.
Right. And that's our only point is like, even if I don't agree with him, even if I don't agree with Muslims, even if I don't agree with Jews, I personally believe, Jews killed Jesus and the Sanhedrin and all that and the Pharisees. And I should be able to say that the same way that Jews think that Goyim are cattle and they want to kill us and all that. Same with the Muslims.
Devout Talmudic Jews. Let's be specific about that.
Yeah, but I'm saying the group of Muslims that hate Jews and stuff like that.
They're no different to me than the devout Christian right who are like, if you're gay, you're going to hell.
Yeah. So, but there is no way that I'm going to sit there and act like I'm going to be in favor of that simply because I disagree. And that's the problem with most of these people. It's not a right-left paradigm anymore, right? Because the Jew anti-Semitism law transcends that. It doesn't matter if you're a conservative Jew. It doesn't matter if you're a left-leaning, or a super leftist Jew. I'm a Jew, this is anti-Semitism trumps all of it. And then they're saying like this comes first and foremost. And like, actually, I feel like Americans have it right. And most of this comes on the heels of the fact that you're not allowed to criticize Israel.
Former artist, I stand corrected. If you're gay, you are going to hell. My mistake. I didn't know.
Yeah. So if you don't, confess your sins before the Lord.
See, this is where I don't agree with you Catholics, because I'm like, you can't just suck all the cock you want and then just go in once a week and be like, my bad. Like, you can't. I don't like that a part of Catholicism.
Well, that's what Jesus said. So
Jesus said you could just come on down and
he was crucified next to a murderer.
Confess next to a murderer,
a thief and murderer, and said,
yeah, I know.
And said, who believed in the salvation at the end of the last second, and he was like, well, what does this mean? And he basically looked over and was like, no, today it's fine. Like, I forgive you for your sins. And right in that moment, it was just like, oh, okay, I get it now. You're dying for everybody type shit. And it's just like, if there is a moment where whether or not you think that what I'm saying is goofy as fuck, you should have the right to believe that and say that.
Yes.
And so I don't care if it's fucking anti-white, anti-black, anti-Jew, anti-anything. I don't believe there's a such thing as hate speech. I only think there's hate actions.
Yes,
And so the hate speech laws are all of them are a violation of the First Amendment. All of them.
Agreed.
And so there is no fucking and that's the biggest thing about like when black people were like, well, he said an N-word, so of course Kareem Hunt gets to drop kick a bitch in the face. And you're like, okay, right? Or just Joe Mixon punching a girl at the bar and like, she called me the N-word, dog. And like, oh, did she? Oh, my mistake. Get out of jail free card. Go to the NFL, buddy.
Do you want to go back and kill her? We can. I don't think it's been long. She's probably not too far from the bar if you want to go back and kill her.
Yeah, and
honestly, we in the America we live in today, O.J. Simpson could have walked right into the courtroom and said, "I'm sorry, Yana, we was in the middle of a fight. She called me nigga, and I cut off her head and Ron Goldman's head." And they'd be like, "All right, you're free to go." But,
yeah, well, because they really said that we've been through this before. You have a bit about it, but the fact that was Cochran and them's defense is like, I want y'all to hear something, y'all. This here is Mark Furman on tape. And he's just like, yeah, fucking niggers, right? And then they go, do you see? And be like, wait a minute, is that about this case? And like, no. And you're like, then what are we talking about?
I always thought a hilarious. I remember being like 12 whenever that O.J. Simpson case was going. I remember being whatever age I was at that time.
Yeah, I was in third grade.
11 or 12 or something. But I remember thinking, how funny would it be if the prosecution went up with the same Mark Furman tape and went, has anyone considered what this guy has to say? Like if they ran the exact same tape, or like the prosecution restaurant, I think this guy makes a lot of great points. And
we like to enter the state would like to say, hear him out. It just says that on the affidavit. It just says hear him out.
Yeah. By the way, former artist says OJ was innocent. His son did it, and he took the heat to protect his son.
You're black.
Yeah,
you're black. As former artist, are you black?
That's a black people conspiracy.
Are you black?
The son was a chef, and so he
type right now that you're black.
Nah, I don't know. He's using punctuation, so that's probably.
Maybe, but his son did it is a black conspiracy theory.
That's a black conspiracy theory. I think OJ did it. And by the way,
he wrote a book like If I Did It.
By the way, we here at the Big Uglies are real big OJ fans.
Yeah. Say no, I'm not black.
100% Bavarian phenotype. I love when they say Bavarian. Law like the motorworks. Okay.
Does that mean you're creamy inside?
Oh, that's what I think of. I think of the Bavarian cream.
Bavarian cream donut. So, but going back to that is the one thing that I'd be like, fuck, man. In the first week, right? That's in the first week. This is what fucking orders. That's top priority for the country. And then, other than that, everything else I think has been fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I've liked the confirmation hearings. I think you're seeing a lot of cool stuff out of that. I mean, there was that great clip, Bobby Kennedy going like, "I can't do it, but you can do it."
Well, are you saying that I can't sue pharmaceutical companies? And then she's like, "That's not what I'm saying." Did you see him with Bernie?
Go after Liz Warren?
No, Bernie.
Oh yeah, I saw him go after Bernie. I watched it this morning.
He said, "Bernie." He said, "You're the in 2020. You received the most donations from pharmaceutical companies, 1.5 million." And he was like, "Out of 200 million." And he was like, "Yeah, but you still received the most out of Congress." Like, don't Jew the question around, Bernie.
By the way, if you weren't anti-Semitic at all before Bernie responded to that accusation, it had to move your needle at least to 1% because he said, hold on now. I received $1.5 million from pharmaceutical employees not corporations or super PACs. What I did was the Jewish thing, and I circumvented the law, and I made them give it to me on an individual donor basis. And it's like, don't red tape me, Jew. You fucking took money from the pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
I mean, like, I'm not stupid. Oh, did you find the workaround Bernie Sanders? Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. You still took the money, you fucking... And I was like, this is my anti-Semitism meter. I was 5 more Bernie Sanders replies away from doing my own Bryce Mitchell video earlier today.
Also, Bub, with that comment that he says, so with that logic, a little kid who had been raped.
I started so I could pull it on. I didn't want to pull us off the topic, but this is a good thing. So, Bub's who
I can
is
explain
Catholic.
this.
Yeah.
So he says, so with that logic, a little kid who's been raped every day for his or her life would go to hell for committing suicide, but the abuser would get into heaven if he just went to confession. No. Confessing your sins and doing that is to have the opportunity to go to heaven.
Oh,
you still have to be judged before God.
Okay.
So saying like,
So
please, you're begging. At that point, you're confessing those sins. You would be begging for your soul.
So basically, God at that point could be like, look, dude, I know you apologize for sucking all them dicks, but you just kept sucking dicks, dude.
So that's why there are these cliche phrases of it's in God's hands. It's up to God. Only God can judge me. That's where it comes from. That's the entire mind. So if this fucking child abusing fucking rapist gets on his hands and knees and fucking begs and pleads and stuff, God could still go, sorry, you've caused too much harm to human beings who I loved and created. You're going to hell. That's still up to God.
Yeah.
And
what about the kid who was raped every day and who killed himself? Does he get to go if he doesn't confess?
Yes.
Or doesn't? Yeah.
Yes.
Why does he?
Because again, it's still up to God.
Suicide is a one-way express ticket to hell, but God can forgive that too.
Yes, it's God. What the fuck?
Good point. He can do whatever he wants to do.
But going back to the Trump week and the confirmation hearing of his cabinet. I
mean, it's kind of astounding. I got you off the Elizabeth Warren thing because we jumped right into Bernie and making fun of his stupid old man Jew voice. But the Elizabeth Warren thing was astounding because she goes, he could bankrupt some of these pharmaceutical companies, and everyone around her is like, yeah, bitch, we're all fine with this.
Yeah, everyone was like, that's fine.
She's like,
and then nobody will get a vaccine. And you go,
yeah, this is fine. And then she's like, and then how will any of us have the money to run for political office? We're like, these are all the problems we're trying to fix right now.
Yeah. And remember when she was listing the things and she was like, this would open pharmaceutical companies to torts. This would, everything she read off, you were like
yes. I want that.
So the whole thing that she was mad about is that if he was the lawyer on the case, that he would get a fucking fee or a commission or something. And you're like, you mean getting paid for his job?
Well, and here's the thing is like, but when she was reading off that list, it was literally like, okay, so if we do this, people are going to come pretty much as they want every day, and they're going to be able to make as much money as they want every day, and they're going to be able to eat all the delicious foods and never gain a pound. Do you really want to live in that reality? And I was like, is this a trick question? Because, bitch, are you the devil? Because I want all of those things. I can do all those. We can have all of those things.
Yeah, it's a really funny fucking like angle of trying to act like Bobby Kennedy is corrupt while defending corruption. It is like the most retard fucking angle you could take. And people are like, and the funniest thing is like, people are going, bitch, do you not know this is on TV?
There's so many times. Do you not know there's cameras everywhere?
Holy shit, dude. It's like, bitch, do you not know what the fuck?
Well, she is one of the ones, and another piece of news from this week that we have to talk about. But like, we have to put Elizabeth Warren's behavior into the hashtag utter nonsense category. Utter nonsense, our segment of the show where we cover the dumbest shit women have thought, done, or said throughout the course of a week. And as much as I think Elizabeth Warren's was some of the dumbest shit you've ever seen and heard in your life, this helicopter pilot bitch got to be the Wayne Gretzky of utter nonsense.
That wasn't a woman.
It was a woman. It was a woman pilot with less than 500 hours of flight time.
No fucking way.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen this? This is brand new. This started
That's
coming
what
out.
Hegseth said, right?
We were eating pastrami's.
Is that what Hegseth said?
Yeah, it's all over the feed. I'll pull it up here.
Yeah, Hegseth talking directly to the people about defense transparent, like just being transparent is I've never seen that before. That's a new thing that this motherfucker's like, maybe we can have a little discussion about this. We'll put out a press release. Nope. He's like, here's the thing. What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to pull up the helicopter story.
Is that Hegseth did a release video?
Yeah, I can't find. Dick posted about it. I don't know if there's any facts there, but I'm sure it's fun.
Dude, I don't. Is that really a woman pilot, dude? That's fucking crazy. Remember the movie that they tried to give us that was propaganda with Meg Ryan? Courage Under Fire.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
It's like,
yeah, Dick just posted this. Of course, this is pretty fun. Classic Dick Masterson. The ultimate misogynist troll of all time. Fox. The helicopter pilot involved in the DC plane crash was a woman with 500 hours of flying experience, Dick Masterson. Hey, remember me? Every single time. Yeah, and then of course I saw some things already, people saying that it's not a woman, it's a trans, which is like, that's really gonna be a thing. By the way, though,
it's just a guy with mental illness.
What a hilarious like a going the other way or something. But I'm saying what like so one of the theories I saw that's already being floated is that it wasn't a woman, it was a trans, and then they decided to suicide themselves into an airplane to prove that DEI shouldn't have been overturned. It's like, well, you're kind of making a great point for not upholding the principles of DEI. Like, okay, so now
everything else, banning trans people out of the military.
Yeah, we definitely can't have trans pilots. Like, this is exactly why you guys can't be soldiers, because
the fact that people won't address trans as a mental illness is part of the problem, because you're placating to the thing, and you're like, well, they need help, and they don't need affirming care. They don't need an affirmation. They need help, right? So it's like, if you're going to be like, plus we should pay for them to cut their dicks off and fucking put them on pills that they need all the time. And you go, what happens when they're 2 weeks out, and they're stationed somewhere we don't have that? Are they going to fucking have a mental fucking breakdown and shoot up the base? Like every one of these fucking trans shooters that's on these fucking pills? Like, what? Where is the line? And I think that's why Hegseth said that. He's like, we got to get this shit the fuck out of there. I didn't hear about the 500 flight time hours and the woman pilot yet. I mean, that is new news. I'm gonna have to look into that deeply, because man, the only benefit the only benefit to having like a trans person in the military, because like scaring the other team. Yes, like in the sense of like, I think back to Saving Private Ryan when they had like all the German guys in the trench, and I was just like, if you had one of those things, just take its pants down and show him its cock and be like, this is what the fuck we're gonna do to you if you don't stop killing Jews. Problem solved. Problem solved. War's over, boys. You know what I mean? That's in Inglourious Bastards. You should have been Nazi scalps. You should have had one. The bear Jew should have been one trans who was like, "This is what we're gonna do to your dicks," and they'd be like, "Ah." And they go, why do they call you the bear Jew? And he just pulls out this bear paw of a pussy that he's got like fucking down there. You're like, oh my God. It's just like just like got this down below, and you're just like, oh my
just
goodness,
a straw sticking out.
How do you know? Or how do you know that doesn't rile up the other side? And they go even harder, and it gives them an adrenaline boost. They go, "Fuck that, demon!"
Yeah,
and then they go like blitzkrieg mode and fucking
Look at what the Jews are doing to genitalia.
Either way, it's a liability. Either way, right? So enough.
Oh my God. Anyway, that's a segment we're going to try to do every week. Utter nonsense.
Speaking of utter nonsense,
anytime women be doing dumb shit.
Speaking of utter nonsense and DEI, black people are upset that DEI is being removed from.
Are they?
Oh yeah, dude. Did you see this? Al Sharpton walked through Costco to show solidarity because Costco's not going to do away with their DEI programs, and so Target, Walmart, Amazon, these companies doing away with it. And the funniest thing to me is black people going, I guess they don't want equality after all. And like, do you think the E stands for equality? Because
no.
It stands for equity, and you're arguing for something you don't even know what the E in the. There's only 3 letters. There's only 3 letters, and you're getting one of them wrong.
And I love that, like, most black people don't even realize that, like, when they are talking about, like, oh, y'all taking it away, what they're referring to is affirmative action. They don't understand all of the further steps that DEI took beyond affirmative action. That are which is just a completely un-American concept, which is like we should just take things away from people who earned it and give it to black people and women.
Yeah, and that's what they refer to as equity. And
like it's DEI is workplace reparations. Let's not get it twisted.
It's also very communist. It is a very communist thing to think that we should own the means of production. Yes, and you go like, but you put no equity in. So why would you ever receive equity simply for being an employee? Yeah. Unless this was a company like SpaceX where part of you not being able to join a union is you get stock options.
Or profit sharing or something like that.
Yeah. In what fucking world would you just get equity for being an employee? This is why the Caleb Williams thing was retarded when he was coming out. And him and his father were trying to negotiate to get an ownership stake in the team. And you're like, what? You haven't played a snap yet.
Yeah, not a snap.
This is insane. What are we talking about? Equity?
And by the way, I know it's only rookie season, but you weren't even the best quarterback in your draft class.
It wasn't even close to the best one in his division.
I mean, but I'm talking about in his draft class. I mean, Jaden Daniels,
rookie of the year,
runaway.
Yeah.
Runaway rookie of the year. The debate for the next 15 years is going to be who was the better draft pick, CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels. That's going to be the debate.
And not Caleb. People are going to be like, remember when Caleb was such a fucking bust?
Yeah, Caleb is down at the bottom of like, can this guy play quarterback in the NFL like Bryce Young? Like,
they seem to think he's special.
It ain't. I haven't seen it.
I think it's dangerous the lighter you go. They think light skin, they'll get him Mahomes.
I don't know though. Stroud's pretty good. Jaden Daniels is pretty good. They're both.
That's what I'm saying. You get CJ Stroud, you get Mahomes, and then and Jordan Love, and they start going. Maybe it's the light skin thing. Maybe we got to do that. And then Jaden Daniels a little darker. He's like darker than a macchiato. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so he's like Morgan Freeman black.
Yeah, he's a cappuccino-ish color. Yeah, So that's where like, oh. And then there's Lamar Jackson, who's like a runaway for MVP. And you'd be like, oh, he's black. So there's like a...
It's how I prefer my blacks.
No, you like midnight black.
Yeah, I want them all the way. Like, I want Tim Biakabatuka. Black. I want like... That? You don't remember Biakabatuka? Running back for the Panthers?
No. When they were first a team? I don't know. I never even heard of that guy.
Yeah, you don't remember
Biakabatuka?
Tim Biakabatuka, who's a Michigan running back.
His name was Tim?
Yeah, Tim Biakabatuka.
I think it's funny to have a last name like that. Your name's just Tim.
And the funny thing is his nephew is a hockey player, ice hockey player.
And that's Tim be hockey Batuka.
Be hockey Batuka. Tim Biakabatuka.
Never heard of him. He must
Tim
have been awesome.
Tim Biakabatuka was like a poster child for 90s black guys. Like you said, I'm talking about like the thin mustache.
Well, they didn't get real fades then. It was just all even all the way.
Yeah. This is him like in his retirement face. But like Tim Biakabatuka was like a real, like, and his head at the end of his career was shaped in a way where you were like, oh, that's where all the hits were absorbed. You know what I mean? Like, he was a bad motherfucker. Yeah, he was probably a little bit before your time.
All right, we're getting way off course here. But I was saying in the DEI thing with as far as black people go, and we're
jumping ahead into Josh's favorite blacks. I have a collection.
So in the whole DEI thing, what they can't. So Costco is like, we're not getting rid of our DEI. So Al Sharpton got a bunch of black dudes and to march through there to be and drinking like Pepsis and eating hot dogs. Like, we love us some Costco, baby.
Did he take a bunch of black people to Costco and start handing out free nigger samples? You want to try one of these black dudes out? I was like, well, I do have a lot of shopping to do. We'll see how this one does. And then, there's always that fat white lady who goes, can I just have 2 more of these? I know you're trying to have enough for everybody, but I don't
think those are the samples they're handing out. I don't know. I don't really. It wasn't a good sample over there. No, but he did walk through there with like arm in arm with people and shit, eating the hot dogs and stuff. Like, we love us some Costco. And the fact, all I was thinking was like, wait a minute, black people are boycotting Target and Walmart.
That means we can finally go back.
Wait a minute.
I haven't been in a Walmart in 10 years.
If black people are boycotting Walmart and Target, does Walmart become Target and Target become Nordstrom? It's like, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll be at the Empire Center tomorrow.
Yeah. They have a Walmart and a Target, aka a Target and a Nordstrom.
I'll be there. I just want to say, wow, this plaza got real nice, real fast.
That's what the carpet looks like when it's been shampooed for more than 8 seconds.
No, I just can't wait till they get rid of all the fat mannequins, and you know who they're for.
That's true.
I just see like, look at this.
Can you just paint them brown? Just paint them brown so that
some of them are, because they want you to see how this fucking giant sports bra looks on brown skin.
No, they're not. Tell me they're fat black mannequins.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. You can type in fat black mannequin.
I'm typing in fat. By the way, I sound like, oh my god. I when I said that, I immediately
fat black mannequin. You were thinking about fat black mannequin.
Fat black mannequin.
Yeah. Jesse Peterson said about that fat black lesbian.
You know that Target populated by fat black mannequin, right?
Because they used to go in there now, fat black lesbians. But now the fat black lesbians is on the boycott.
Black in the clothes, though they put it fat.
No, why do you want to boycott that?
Okay, I haven't seen one. When I type in black, it's like jet black, where they're like full black. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're not chocolate. Like, I want chocolate mannequins.
But that's their way to not be racist.
No,
they want to show it dark because all the mannequins used to be white. So they go, what about this black one? He goes, yeah, but that's just black. And they're like, Carl,
I got a business I want to pitch you. Ready? Put your Shark Tank hat on.
There we go.
Chocolate Mannequin Company. We just make chocolate mannequins. And they're
edible ones?
Yep, they're made out of chocolate. So the women, what they do is they eat the mannequins and then they have to buy the clothes that the mannequin was wearing.
Nah, I can already see them suing.
Yeah. And then we'll do a movie, Mannequin 3, where the mannequins are the chocolate.
There's a Mannequin 2?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a Mannequin 2. You didn't know Mannequin 2?
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Mannequin 2, Electric Niggaloo.
Boogaloo. Electric Nuggaloo. Yeah. Hey, They're boycotting Amazon too.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Don't boycott my Amazon. Does that mean it's all going to be cheaper and it'll get here faster?
Well,
Oh no.
Are they all going to not? So I'm saying that. Does that mean they're not going to be being the drivers and stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Because they're saying DEI programs and stuff, and they're like, you don't know about these DEI programs. They start, and I go, oh no. What if you guys just started your own companies?
Yeah.
And employed black people?
Yeah. Nobody's stopping you from doing that.
Well, come on. You know we got to have these major retailers and stuff like that. I was like, why? Where's Black Target? Where is Black Walmart?
I can't wait for Amazon Prime. No, you know we try to talk about
Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's right, baby. Hey, look, it's Amazon Prime time.
Going, baby. We going. Listen, it might not be there today. It might not get there tomorrow. It not go, but it's gonna get there when the Lord want it there.
Now, look, if you pay here today, we get it to you tomorrow. That's how it go. We ain't got same day. We got same pay. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, listen, it'll get there eventually when the Lord decide that it's ready to be there.
One of the options to order something just says something on. It just says put something on it.
Put something on it. Yeah.
It's like I ain't got all of it, but I can put something on it.
I'll put a little something on it. Yeah, you see, that's like their Klarna paying for. It's like put a little something on it.
Yeah, it used to be layaway, right?
Three options: same day, next day, when he will it, when he wills it,
and then all the reviews.
They're all 1-star reviews.
It's all just people trying to get their money back.
You can only select 1 star for the review. We did it or we didn't, baby.
This is it, baby. We ain't. Hey, and then you get your package. It's just like, look at God.
Hey, when is this supposed to get here? Listen, we coming. We can't tell you when. We can't tell you how. Okay, but
just we coming.
We coming.
Also, are they going to boycott stealing packages off of porches too? Is that what they meant by boycotting Amazon? Because that would be nice and beneficial to the rest of the country.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be great?
You ever seen those videos of the black dude walking around the hood with a PS5 box? That's like,
yes. Oh yeah. It's like a teenager, and it's
a prank video and shit. But they're like, hey, what you got, cut? He was like, you got that new 5? He's like, yeah, this new 5. You're like, hey, go ahead and get up off that. He was like, what? He's like, I'm gonna need you to get up off that. And they literally like hold him at gunpoint or just take it out of his hands. And he's like, hey, dude, hey, cuz got the 5. And the dude turns his head slightly, and that guy just grabs it out of his hands and just takes off.
Runs
every time. There's not a single time he's started a video and nobody bothered him or tried to steal it.
Nope.
Not once.
Nope.
And I'm like, okay, surely there must be like 200 people that didn't, and he's only showing 13 that did. No, it's every time. There's not a single one where they don't try and steal it.
Yeah.
And one time he had to be like, yo, it's a prank. It's a prank. I don't give a fuck. And took that shit and went right into his house, his place of residence. I'm like, he just told you you're on camera. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
And it's a prank, and there's actually not a PlayStation inside.
Yeah. Dude, if I was doing that, I would rig it like the bank does with the fucking blue dye
pack. Oh yeah. No, dude, but then he would get shot. No,
because then they'd open it in the house and he'd already be gone anyways.
Maybe. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten shot already, regardless.
Yeah, and then but then they open it up and they turn into a blue nig group, and it's like like playing the fucking that shit. They come, it's fun. It's fun to notice.
It's so bad. I mean, I've seen a lot of these videos too of like Facebook Marketplace sales where people are selling shoes on Facebook Marketplace and then they just get robbed at gunpoint.
I don't get it, man. And they're like, if you're going to meet at a police station. I was like, that stops them.
Yeah.
They've never done crimes in jail before.
911 emergency. Yeah, 911. What's your emergency? I'm in your parking lot right now.
Help!
I was trying to sell a Walkman. It's not even current technology.
Also, the whole like you said, the DEI thing, and they're like, now we can't even get them to hire, us. What are we gonna do, y'all? And I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
because this shit is tiresome.
well, that's what I think
It's like we're exhausted of this.
that's what I think is so funny about like all these like black it's like one of the things so funny about like these black boycotts is like I don't think this is gonna have the effect that you think it's gonna have. Like, we just gonna stop going to all your places. Oh no. It's like when Uber during the George Floyd stuff was like, we're gonna start calling attention to black owned businesses. And I go, oh, thank God. Because
they made a list.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to order from one of these accidentally and never get my food. So good looking out.
They
other green all the black-owned businesses, and I was just like, nope.
It's called the Jade Book. It's like,
well, that's
the Onyx Book.
The Onyx, yeah. I was Jade Book sounds like it's all Chinese food. Don't block that. I definitely want to order the Chinese food.
It's the Onyx Book.
Yeah, hooked on Onyx. Whoa.
Ugh. Also, and I think we had mentioned this at the top of the show, but this is like touching on it, is that you notice it's like cool to be retarded now. Like they're pushing,
I think this
like
is wishful thinking on your part.
No. I mean they're trying to push
who
the new cool kids are, and like, but they're retarded.
Yeah. No, it's annoying. I mean, we talked about it with the Guitar Center nerds.
Yeah, but so like the Selena Gomez thing, I think is funny, where she thought she was going to get so much sympathy and understanding,
adoration.
Yeah, so the virtue signaling stuff now looks like you're fucking retarded. And they're still trying to push like, no, it's cool to be retarded. Right? Yeah. Right? And like I can't wrap my head around it because I'm not saying it lightly when I say retarded. Like, this is mental retardation to be like, my people, and like, your people. Like, what? Never once has this bitch been like saving lives from fentanyl or saving lives from human trafficking or gone toe to toe with the fucking cartel by saying like, you better knock it off. Or
here's the other thing too that I don't understand. It was when she made that video, when Selena Gomez made that video, she's like, I don't know what to do, but I'll try everything. And then somebody reposted that was like, I'll try everything, proceeds to do nothing. It's like, hey, you could just go into any like immigration attorney's office and put $1 million down on the table and go, use this to help. You could do that.
She also deleted the video.
Of course she did.
And then they said that it was because of that guy Sam Parker, who
he got,
who's so annoying.
I find him so annoying. He's like,
he's the worst type of fucking Jew hater too, because he it's just like his idea of like mobilization and action.
I hate an anti-Semite in a suit. He just looks like a little troll of a fucking faggot who's like, hey, have you guys seen what the Jews are doing over there? Like, you know what it is? You don't hate Jewish people because you're better. You hate them because you're just like them, but they're having all the fun. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's, you know what I liken it to? He reminds me of the fucking weird thing in 300, the thing that nobody would like fucking suck. And was like,
where King Leonidas is like, may you live forever.
Yeah. And it's just like, he reminds me of that thing. It's like, you're just Jew adjacent, but you're like, look at what they're doing over there. They won't include me. So
my biggest pet peeve with that guy is he joined a space that we were in one time, and
he was hosting it or co-hosting it or whatever.
And I called all of them fucking losers because they're just bitching. And to me, I don't feel it would be like the Jews did this, and I'm like, cool, except
Now
for the
what?
fact that you have to believe in it or follow it or do the thing that they're pushing in
Yeah.
order to take part in it. So if you did the thing, right? If you go, I'm addicted to porn and this is the Jews' fault, and like, dude, you sat there and watched porn,
Yeah.
right? At some point,
guy in a yarmulke with a fucking shotgun in your chest, like
just because he owns it, right? And they go, this is the same thing what blacks do and this was the analogy that I made. The analogy that I made was black people saying that the CIA and the government flooded the streets with crack. And I said, but you still got to smoke the crack.
This is the same argument. Like people that bitch about the Jews would be like fat people complaining about McDonald's. And it's like, it's McDonald's. They make it addictive. It's like, shut the fuck up, you faggot, and stop eating it then. And that's how I feel about the Jews, like, or the Jew guys. When they're just like, do you guys see what the Jews? Do you see the Jews did this? Jews do this. Jews run everything. It's like, shut the fuck up and stop eating the McDonald's, pussy.
Or you try and run shit too. Compete with them. Compete with the Jews.
Make your own porn thing or whatever you want to do.
But my biggest thing is like his calls to action. His call to action was,
in that thing was like, here's the big plan, everybody.
Here's the big plan. This is how we're gonna get the Jews. We're going to go on big accounts and leave comments in their comment section, like Candace Owens. And I'm like, hold on, what?
Yeah.
This is your grand plan to compete with the Jews, get back at the Jews, all that shit. That's your grand plan is also, leave comments. You forgot.
The brief amount of time I did some work in the marketing world when I was like working with one of my old friends who I'm not friends with anymore. And he started a marketing company and asked me to come on and help him with it. And I did that for a couple of months during the pandemic. But I learned about the different kinds of like marketing, social media marketing campaigns. And you have like conversion campaigns, and you have what's called an awareness campaign. Awareness campaigns. And I understood the concepts a little bit from the retail side when I was in retail. But I remember people pitching like brand awareness campaigns, and I go like, oh, this thing that's impossible to track if it actually has any impact on anything at all whatsoever, but you're going to charge us an arm and a leg to do it anyway. And it's like, what we need to do is raise awareness. And first of all, if somebody's trying to get you to give them money to raise awareness about something, you're being stolen from and you're fucking retarded.
It's a scam. It's the same scam as a fake casting agency that says like, I need if you want to be in this casting stuff, just pay us $200 a month and we'll submit you to stuff. And go, that's not how shit works.
Yeah.
That's a scam.
I can do that.
Yeah, it's just like, no, you're supposed to get paid when I book stuff. You should be submitting me anyway.
Right.
This is not how an agency works. Like,
exactly.
But that's the scam. People are like, well, we need money to raise the awareness. I go, isn't awareness just awareness? Like, what's the money for?
Well, to make people aware if we don't spend money and build awareness.
Oh, dude, what a joke.
Ask you, speaking of awareness campaigns, have you seen this on Instagram lately where like I'll be scrolling through my timeline and I'll see like it'll be content that's like interesting to me. It'll be like an indie singer or something or guitar player or like an up and coming comedian, and they'll have a clip posted or it's them playing music or whatever, and it says, you see it and it says sponsored, and then you click it and this person has like 300 followers and you go, wait a minute, people with 300 followers are out here spending money on awareness campaigns so that you see their music or watch their comedy or whatever. So I say that to say that like when everyone talks about like, dude, it's organic growth. Either you have it or you don't. Nobody is not spending money trying to raise awareness around their art. Nobody. So when you sit here and go like, oh, your podcast only has 1,000 live viewers right now or whatever, 1,037. It's like, and I bet we could get it to 20 if we spent $500 a week raising awareness.
Yeah, if we just spent more ad money to get on there, you get more than 1,000 during a live.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get like, oh, can we get 15,000 during a live? Sure.
Yeah,
if I spend $1,000 a week.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, first of all, we stopped paying for a studio 6 months ago, so we're not doing that. But it's crazy to me, and it's like, and it's even the smallest level people are like, I should be famous. How about I throw $250-$300 a week at it? And it's just wild to me. It goes back to what we were saying about the sort of like influencer culture, where there's like this thing, like this is what we always say about it, is like, if I hit the lottery and never had to do anything again a day in my life, I would still do comedy as much as possible because I love it. Like a life well lived. And we were talking about something earlier where I almost got on this subject with you and then we got derailed or whatever. But I was thinking that earlier of like we were talking about, it was when you were telling me on the drive to the store earlier. We were saying like the success rate for millionaires. We were saying like of the people in the 1%, only a small percentage are actually self-made and didn't inherit their wealth to begin with.
Yeah, it's less than 10%.
Yeah, and you said that even that number is astounding, right? And
considering the odds of
considering the odds. And I was thinking as we were saying that, it's like, that's why you can't do something based on like, well, if I do this, I'll get famous, or if I do this, I'll get rich. And I've never thought that way. I've been like, let me try to do what I want to do as much as possible, and then do whatever I have to do to make money in addition to that. And then if I can get to a point where doing what I love also makes money, that's great. But
you know who makes up the majority of that percentage?
But if you told me, hey man, there's no way you're ever going to get rich or you're ever going to get famous doing what you're doing now, I would still do it because this is what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, the majority of people that make up that percentage, the less than 10% of the 1%, are mostly athletes. Are mostly entertainers. Are mostly like, those are the self-made, got rich people that almost everyone else, except for the couple of like construction guys who fucking or some rancher, commercial, fishermen, that have like a fucking just hit it awesome, hit the big time. They have yachts now. Those fucking dudes. The outside chance of that, most of the self-made, they're all athletes, entertainers.
Yeah.
Like almost all of them. And so when you think about how small of a percentage that is, especially like, because rappers will say that all the time, self-made, and then bitch that the Jews own all the record labels, right?
Yes,
you go like,
record label.
Exactly. And like, that's what Master P did. But then they end up going, well, who's going to front us this money? We just want to, and this is we'll probably end with this instead of, but we know someone who has this mindset. We know startup people have this mindset, and rappers who think they go do their own shit have this mindset where they only want to start their own thing till it's popular enough or big enough to sell it off.
Oh yeah. They're always looking for an exit or something.
And they're just like, yeah, dude, I'm just trying to do this so I'll make a couple mil and sell it, and then I'll take that money and do it. And you'd be like, dude, I get it. I understand what you're saying to try and make a flip, but why would you try and build something just to sell it off? Yeah, I think that's like the dumbest fucking shit possible. Like, that's why Jeff Bezos has not sold off Amazon. Amazon just buys your shit.
Right.
Oh, you got a cool fucking look at this. This is cool analytics. Tight. We're gonna absorb that. Use your tech. Now this is part of AWS. Stupid bitch.
Well, and you can really see like the transcendent difference between like billionaires who are that way and aren't that way. Like the billionaires who are that way are people like Mark Cuban, who somehow are billionaires but don't actually really own anything anymore because they've taken an exit on everything. Like Mark Cuban even took an exit on the fucking Spurs, or the Spurs, right?
No, Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. The Mavs. Sorry. Why was I thinking Spurs? But yeah, Mavs. But yeah, like, it was a long time. Like, I love this. I'll take an exit. And it's like, those are the guys who are always looking to get their money and get out.
And that's also why Mark Cuban is a fucking piece of shit, because he'll be like, oh, self-made, I was in the .com boom and I hit it big and stuff. And then he doesn't tell you that his Jew grandfather was rich and he had money.
Well, just the fact that he went to like didn't he go to Stanford or something? I think he went to
something on the West. I think he went to
some Ivy League school.
I don't know if it was Ivy League, but I know he went to.
Oh no, he went to Indiana.
Yeah, it wasn't Ivy League, but he went to
Indiana.
But he did something that was like, oh, let me just figure out this computer shit. It was like, dude, it was the fucking 90s. It was the early 90s. Like,
yeah, it was sort of like place and time, but it was like, but this is the thing is like, you know, Cuban
this is the take money, it takes money to make money shit. He had that. It's not like he just maxed out a credit card and wrote a script and everybody loved it. Taylor Sheridan. And
but it's a similar thing with like, you know, Zuckerberg like made the thing that made him wealthy. Like
or stole it, whatever you choose to
whatever. Sure, yeah. I don't think he stole it. I am of the mindset of like if they could have done it, they would have done it. They weren't not what were they, Wolfbergs or whatever the fuck their name was. They were not
Wolfbergs.
Yeah, what were the brothers' names?
The something twins. I can only think of Krasensteins.
Winklevoss. Why did I say Wolfberg? The Winklevoss. Yeah. Like it wasn't like he stole this from some poor Puerto Rican kids at MIT. Like the people he was working with were wealthy Harvard. Like, you know, if they lacked money, it was not like they lacked for money. They could have got any fucking programmer for any amount of money.
There's also this like that Facebook, the same way that you'd be like, oh, he sold it off or he didn't. He's basically was this figurehead of the company that was sold off to NatSec, CIA, NSA stuff, where that's the position that they've been in. That's why the government doesn't really fuck with Facebook and feels they had an obligation. Like, so Zuckerberg gets on Rogan like, yeah, I thought it was totally wrong for them to censor during COVID, and we feel really bad about it. And we felt so bad that I donated fucking $400 million to Kamala Harris. Here's
the other thing. Here's the other thing. Not to get too far off that, but if you want me to believe that these fucking Jews at Harvard didn't know how to protect themselves from another Jew taking their intellectual property.
I think they weren't Jews.
2005.
They were just German kids.
No.
Were they
Try
Jews?
again.
Were they all Jews?
Yeah, everybody involved in that situation were Jews. Winklevoss, raised in a Syrian Orthodox Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn.
The neighborhood.
Yeah. So I'm just saying they're all.
But, you know, I get totally that. Like, and I of the same elk, right? Like, if you would have done it, you'd do it. And
you could have made Facebook. You would have made Facebook.
Yeah. But so, like, that's the same way I feel about all the DEI stuff and this. And like, so what are we going to do? When during 2020, you were like, black business, y'all, black business, black owned business. And it's like, okay, 4 years later, going on 5, what's the update? How are all those black owned businesses going? Do you have Target yet? Is there a Blamazon?
Listen, Blamazon ain't here yet, but it's coming.
It's coming. Prime time. We're prime time.
Prime. You don't need Amazon. We're going prime.
Oh boy. I would like to sort of end on that and tell people to vote for my dog.
Oh yeah. Do we have a link we can put up?
I don't know.
QR code or something? That would have been a good thing to give me to prep for the show.
Yeah. But so he's in the top 10. Next week, I'm going to put it up that he needs. That's I think the final voting. The top 10 ends tonight. And he's currently in 7th. But if you have a Facebook.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Speaking of Facebook, you can vote for my guy. He gets on the cover of Modern Dog magazine. This is hosted by Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family. They did this competition where I entered my dog in and to be America's favorite pet. And there's one cat winner, one dog winner. He's currently 7th in the nation. And right now, this is in first place is an old lady like an older lady, and she's like, "This is my 3-year-old service dog, who's a doodle, who helps me with everything." It's just her in a blanket with the dog and shit. And I go, no, this isn't GoFundMe, okay? This is essentially a dog fucking pageant, okay? My dog is cuter than all your dogs, okay? I don't need a fucking.
Can I
save that shit for GoFundMe, lady? Okay.
Yeah, I do think this was funny that you were like earlier today. You were mad at me because you're like, I didn't know this was a fucking sympathy competition.
Yeah, dude.
You're like, I thought I was in the clear just having the most fuckable dog, and I was like, all right.
Okay, you said that. Those are your words, not mine.
It's like it's a fuckable dog contest. Okay, Carl. Sorry that you.
I just referred to it as a dog beauty contest, and you said fuckable dog.
Listen, that's how. How are they judging the regular beauty contest? You know, I just love that you are the you are the Mama June of dog beauty pageants.
I am. Oh yeah, because that's my little honey boo boo.
That's your honey boo boo, and that's your meal ticket right there, right?
Well, if he wins, I'm getting him a fucking agent because he needs to be in those Chewy commercials and Pet Fresh and all that shit.
Here we go.
And they get my dog Winston in that bitch, man.
I don't think I can put a clickable link in the show.
You could probably do it on my name.
Winston made the top 10. Here we go. We can pull this up. I'll do it like this with the thing.
Dude, that's a funny ass comment. Imagine a golden retriever reverse cowgirl.
Here we go. All right, so
69 on an adult wiener dog.
America's pet, Winston. And then if you guys want to go in and vote for Winston to be America's favorite pet, you can click on this QR code from the show. So you can just scan that QR code.
Oh, nice.
From the show and go in and vote for Winston. Yeah, he's a good boy. Well, he wasn't a good boy today, but he wasn't.
He was a piece of shit, and he knows it. He's actually did bad boy stuff. Tried to run off from me.
Yeah,
and, he did stop though when I got in front of him, like just stamped my feet, like, and I was like, Winston, sit down, and he did, but I'm doing it in the middle of the street because he took off from me a little bit. He pulled the leash, yanked out of my hand.
Unexpectedly, yeah, because usually you got him pretty wrapped up.
Dude, and it was because it was another dog. So he could have got bit. He could have got hit by a car. He could have did all that shit. So I was pissed, and he knows I'm pissed. So then he just been trying to say sorry to me for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, and I was like, I go, listen, I know it's hard because you're like a soft mom with him. But I go, as the hard dad who lives in another apartment with another family,
Don't talk about my dog and say that you're hard.
I go, you better put him in that dark cage because let me tell you something. If I would have put mine in a dark cage when it misbehaved, it wouldn't start chasing all the black penises it sees out in the street.
That's right. Look, another one.
Oh, see, it's gone too far. It's gone too far. First they bark at him and they go,
that's it.
And then your family's gone forever. No, I'm kidding. And you start your whole life over as a 41-year-old man. I'm fine.
So yeah, that's my guy right there. The little QR code. That's the homie.
It's a beautiful dog. Beautiful dogs.
Also, for those just joining us and the 1,000 live viewers that we have, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/the Big Uglies podcast. And you can spread the love. You can give us 5 to stay alive, or you can hate for hate.
Beautiful.
If you hate us, if you fucking are one of these cultists that watch another show who hate us, just chime in.
Yeah, pay the
tell us you hate us. We'll read it on the show. We'll do that. It's 8 to hate. Patreon.com/the Big Uglies podcast. Every week we're doing this on X. YouTube is broadcast live. And
you can also pick up some merch at biguglyshop.com.
There you go. There you go. Don't forget the number one coffee mug in the country.
It's a good mug. It's also a shirt. And we'll have some other new merch coming soon. And then, of course, couple exciting.
So those get in stone before they're announced, right?
Yeah, we also have the other podcasts. Yeah, well, we know we have.
No, I was talking about dates.
Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, the dates aren't. I'm not going to announce any dates yet, but we do have some pretty exciting tour stuff coming up. And then we have two. One of my podcasts is coming back, hopefully accompanied by a live stand-up show every month, The Darkest Hour. I think it's time to finally bring that enterprise back into the fold. And then, of course, The Premise, which will be you and I and our buddy Eric Abinate, speaking of Jews, where we are mining material. And that show, I don't know. We got to get with Eric and figure out when we're going to start that. I think we said we're going to start at the end of the football season, and here we are. So
yeah, it's probably the Sunday after the Super Bowl will probably be our first.
Yeah, or maybe we should do one and put it out Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know. We should talk about.
Well, because that is going to be the least watched Super Bowl. So
yeah,
but we'll talk about next week. We'll talk about the least watched Super Bowl in history, because it'll be the week of the Super Bowl, media week, and we'll talk about how us whites prep for Black History Month.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, guys.